dude, that kind of sucks. I was on a roll. Okay, let me just start over. Um, so I wanted to make this a user-friendly reading because I know that the title sounds kind of like maybe intimidating. So I just wanted to explain my intentions for this before we like even discuss the piles and such. So this is okay, cool. Thank you guys so much for being here and letting me know before I got too far. Um, so yeah, this is your deal with the devil. The devil in the tarot deck is a card that represents a karmic relationship. So sometimes inevitable or unavoidable and necessary to your purpose. Um, but it's a karmic relationship usually associated with some element of like suffering or obligation. Can even be like contractual agreement. Um, it Capricorn is the zodiac sign that rules over the 10th house. So it's also the house that represents your career, your like long-term public reputation, like how you're seen by people, your credentials, your status in the world, and the material world specifically, like what you're building, your empire. Um, what else I want to say about this? But yeah, basically, I just mean to say this doesn't have to be scary because a lot of times we have to submit to things, and that's what the devil represents. It's like, where are you giving up your power to something else, hopefully with the intentions of gaining. And so when we see like the devil, like a lot of times in like toxic relationships, I might have to close the door, depending on how this progresses, but um. But yeah, sometimes in the world, like that's just an inevitable truth is that you have to give something in order to get something. Even when you're like, because we live in like this capitalistic society, even when you go and like buy food, you have to like submit to the machine. And that can be what the devil can represent in this context. Like, feel free to like, choose the pile that you choose. But I specifically went to this book in order to kind of prepare for this reading because it talks about all the different decans in each zodiac sign and it also interprets it from like a biblical standpoint. So, um, yeah, it talks about Capricornus, the goat. And it gives some like, religious context from a Christian background if you're interested in the zodiacs, like astrology, but you're like, it's, if you're like that, then like, and you actually like to read, this might actually be a book that you like because I actually really have enjoyed it. Um, so yeah. There are three decans, and so there are three piles. They're not actually in the order. Like it's usually that the decans are actually this one, and this one, but we're gonna go backwards because this is the way that I felt that I was guided to do it. And so yeah, fuck it. Let's go ahead and get started. Enough chit chat. I just know that people are gonna be like, "Oh, this is a demonic lady," and I feel like a lot of people are, embodying certain levels of demonic energy, and that's natural to having an ego. So, as someone who accepts the fact that they have an ego, and that I'm not always completely conscious of it, and that I may not ever be able to be, like this kind of reading to me is just like based in truth, and like I just like to explore truth over like ideal outcomes, which is what makes me different from a lot of other readers. Okay, so let's talk about religion. So, your deal with the devil in this context could definitely be more of a spiritual situation, but we also have this idea of give and take with the Six of Pentacles being this card. This is actually a Lenormand deck. I never actually learned how to read Lenormand, but I bought this from a local thrift store. So, the cross and religion and the Six of Pentacles. So immediately there's like a need for routine and discipline in this deal with this devil. I also want to mention contextually for this reading that the devil is ruled by Saturn, so it is like a trainer or like a disciplinarian, an enforcer of like routine standards. So this is like the headmaster of the boarding school. And this is like the rules that are required in order to remain in good standing with the headmaster. And it's like beneficial. I'm going to say headmaster instead of devil because I feel like the word devil is freaking people out. So in this particular case, I'm really getting like this headmaster energy. you want to remain on this headmaster's good side so that you can remain enrolled in the school, so that you can graduate from the school and then get like the certificate from the school. So this could even be like you pursuing some kind of, you know, religious course, and you need to like pass a class, because I'm pretty sure in order to become like a priest you have to like take some kind of like government. Yeah, I think I learned that from like a mutual Eon Eternity. He talks about how in order to like be certified as a religious leader in modern society, you have to kind of like go along with the machine's rules for what it means for you to be in that role. So like someone like me is not someone who would be probably ever able to like, you know, get certified, mostly because my perspective and philosophy is not conventional. I've definitely strayed from what's mainstream because I've allowed myself freedom of choice. So whether or not you are allowing yourself freedom of choice, you're giving and taking, and what you are giving and taking, it's up to you to kind of choose that before we even get into this. So just be aware. One of the main things that kind of opened up my eyes to like religious and spiritual variances was not only what I learned in like middle school, um, in like this world history kind of class, but also The Life of Pi, that movie, when Pi basically talks about how he's introduced to another religion that he actually kind of vibes with, and then he just starts like integrating parts of that into what he was already doing from like his native background. And he continues to like research and become like more and more educated about more and more things that he resonates with as a person, like as an individual soul. And then he finds his own personal philosophy through doing that. And that's kind of like what I resonate with as a person, because like I said, I did come from a conservative Christian background. I used to wear like a cross on my neck every day. Um, and I was in church like every Sunday. I went to like Bible study. I like cooked food for like, you know, potlucks and cookouts and stuff like that. My grandmother was really deeply involved in church, and I was always with her. So it was like, you know, duos. So yeah, there could have been a point in time, or there will be a point in time when you could be ready to diverge from what you know, or at least experiment and expand in some kind of way. Because it's a number 36, which comes down to like a 9, which is Sagittarius energy, which is right before Capricorn. What like broke my faith at first was like really adverse situations in my early home life. So like part of the reason why I had to realize that Christianity may not like be the complete fit for me was because of the way that like I didn't feel like I could communicate. Like I didn't feel like I was receiving clear communication when I was only looking at life through the lens of Christianity. So I had to like open my mind to how else the universe or God may be communicating to me, and what other like forms that can those energies can be channeled in through beyond what I was initially introduced to. So um in this reading we're talking about we're going to be talking about how you're submitting, what you're submitting to, how it impacts you, for better or for worse, and then some advice just like moving forward in life. Because like I said, like everybody's making deals with this devil, like no, everybody's submitting to something all the time. So this isn't like woo-woo stuff, really, in my mind. Okay, so these are the positive. This is the what you're gaining. This is what you're like losing. Um, these are what you're submitting to, and this is how you're submitting. Okay, so yeah, I actually pulled these cards yesterday, and I completely forgot like everything that happened. So I forgot that there were so many here. So how are you submitting? Let's talk about that first. We had the six. Oh shit! Hold on. Sorry guys. There's a lot of like intervention in this energy, which isn't really surprising considering the reading that we're doing. Because this is energy that you'd have to like fight for or like earn for, like earn it kind of a thing. Earned it by Chief Keef could be significant. Um, yeah, 6 of Wands in reverse. 5 of Pentacles. The Magician. How many are there? The Lovers. I didn't actually count, so I really don't. I still don't know. The Hermit in reverse. Six of Pentacles again, but in the reverse. Eight of Swords in reverse. I love this deck. Page of Pentacles. And we'll just take this guy over here. Four of Wands in reverse. So how are you submitting? I think this is very similar to what I was discussing previously. This is a situation to me that looks like you're kind of being broken down. So whatever you previously believed is being like, it feels like it's kind of being internally disproven by your own like life experiences. So like I said, there was a point in time in my life when I had to detach from my faith of origin in order to allow myself like autonomy to decide for myself what I wanted to believe in and how like that could empower me to take different actions. Because one of my biggest things with Christianity was that I felt like I was in submission to something. Well, I mean, we're talking about submission, so this is something that like maybe obviously I still struggle with and I'm still continuing to like balance out. And that's totally cool with the Page of Pentacles being here because novice energy is actually encouraged as long as you like, you know, back this up. There's a lot of mercurial energy here, which is all about the mind and intellect and communication and speech and like learning and even teaching. So this is a good time to be open to like even sharing your philosophies with other people for the ways that you can either be challenged or like validated in your way of seeing the world, because there is a good chance that however you have like failed or been defamed or like been treated by the world around you that makes you feel isolated and like beat down, is the thing that makes your personal philosophy so unique. So like one of the like philosophers that I've even been getting into recently is like this Russian guy named Zizek. And he even speaks in a way that's kind of like rough, and it makes sense because he's kind of Russian. So like, and that's like, you know, it's cold. It's a country that like financially is strained amongst like most common people. It's definitely like a rough environment. So there's something about how you've been molded here that would make you more likely to like engage with the world in this way. And that's what I mean with like your deal with the devil. It's not necessarily that you're like sitting down and like writing out a contract and then signing it. It's more like this is your like grand strategy. This is the way that you move through the world. This is your personal philosophy here. Because like I said, I abandoned religion. Like I abandoned the rules. I abandoned like the black and white kind of way of seeing life because it was something that only really contributed to like anxiety and stress and like over self, because I'm a person who like strives to achieve those standards. So to have them in like, I don't know. Have you guys like, it's kind of like this energy of almost OCD. Like this is a lot of like intellectually active, almost hyperactive energy. There was even a point in time in my life when like I would ask my mom like questions about the world, and then like she wouldn't have like an answer for me. And it wasn't like I was upset with her for not having an answer, but there was a lot of times, like there were a lot of times in my life when I felt isolated in the depth at which I did contemplate my existence. So like this is kind of like the matrix energy. Your mind is kind of operating at a different level, so you probably are going to be less likely to just accept what's being provided to you in terms of religious context. So you, with the Six of Pentacles, need to be willing to invest in like making the most out of whatever this differentness is and really figuring out what your method is, for better or for worse, and whether or not that like contrasts other people, because you should expect to be spectated in what makes you different. People are going to be like wanting to know what it is that your sauce is, because there's like this energy that it is successful for you, even if it is darker than what most people are used to. Like this reading literally is called Your Deal with the Devil. So if you are like me and you've detached from some kind of mainstream religious background and you've invented or rebranded or just taken initiative into like paving a new way for yourself based on your own like code of ethics, then this is especially for you. And you may not find a lot of like commonality in that with most people. So you probably shouldn't really expect that. But when you do find it, understand that those are situations that are kind of being like divinely guided for you. know if you can like hear all the stomping outside, but I definitely feel like there are people who don't approve of the way that you live your life. So anticipate those negative reactions and don't let them like really knock you off your center when they do occur. Because I feel like that's kind of like the intention of the occurrence to begin with. I do feel like you're seen in your communities as successful, even though you are isolated in your success. So people don't maybe always know. I think people just like I said before, want to know your method. So they'll go out of their way to kind of be aware of it. And for that reason, you may not have a lot of genuine peers or like friends. I'm hearing highway to the danger zone, like Top Gun for some reason. And I'm looking at this magician energy, which is once again Mercury, Virgo, Gemini, and we have Virgo and Gemini. So this is Mercury out the ass, and I literally am ruled by Mercury. I have a Virgo rising and a Virgo moon and a Gemini midheaven. So I'm a talker, I'm a learner, I'm a communicator. I'm hyperactive in my energy. This is like a collective of people who have a lot of like bandwidth as people. And that's forged through like scarcity. So what is PAL 1 submitting to? How many of these? Okay, we have the Queen of Cups. Wow, like all my neighbors are arriving now. Queen of Cups, the Five of Swords, Four of Cups in reverse, and the King of Cups. Wow, a closed circuit. I was just talking about bandwidth. So, for some of you guys, electricity is significant, and my ghost just knocked. I don't know if you heard it, but I did. For some of you, your life philosophy will connect you with someone who has that exact same thing, and then when they see you living in it or expressing it, they're gonna be like, oh my god, this is the person for me. Like, I'm hearing Zero in my head. She's the one for me. She's all I really need. Oh yeah, she's the one for me. And this guy's stance kind of reminds me of Assassin's Creed when he does the little like T-pose. And I've been doing that a lot recently in my own life. So, this could be like, you know, some kind of brother, like you come from some elite, yeah, like honestly, dude, seriously, like some of you guys could be like modern day nuns or monks or like fighting monks or like samurais or like ninjas or like, you know, you come from like some kind of like specified mindset, like the way that you think, the way that you move in the world, the way that you like venerate God. It's not normal, like it just isn't, but it is going to align you with like perfect opportunities and perfectly matched outcomes. So be open to like how your deal with the devil here, like in your religion, can actually like serve your highest interests, especially when you operate out of peace of mind that everything that does happen is happening because it should, and that the devil and God are working in perfect balance in your life when you allow them to. Because when you actually like repress your darker like natural urges, and guys, we take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying like completely like let loose and do whatever, but what I am saying is like allow things to be and allow yourself to investigate and see, because with all this like mercurial energy, it's kind of like it's raccoon energy. Like imagine a raccoon that never allowed itself to like scavenge and like see what was in the dumpster. You know, like a raccoon naturally is gonna wanna like be dirty. You know? So if like, and that's the thing about the religion I was speaking about before, is like when I was so ritualistic, it was easier to be that way when I was a kid. You know, like when I first joined the church, I was like 7 years old. And it was like, okay, there's not really that many things I can be doing like wrong, like, you know, that you could ever even call wrong. But then as, you know, you mature in age, you like naturally understand nuance through your own experiences with scarcity and through like witnessing other people in their scarcity and how that encourages them to react. So like all I'm saying is, I think whatever your understanding is, however your like algorithm is processing life, it's opening you up to taking very specific and unique pathways that only like you could. And that's like kind of like this birthright energy, because I forgot to read this, sorry. I took some notes on what this decan is, and this is the third decan of Capricorn, delphinus, the dolphin. And basically, this decan talks about how Christ is the great sin bearer, and it quotes, "He goes down into the waves of the deep and descends into hell. His soul goes down into Hades. We see, however, that he is not to be left there, but rises gloriously." So there's something about like what you have gone through and like how it like broke you or something like that, and then how you rebuild yourself through this submission. Like whatever understanding you're coming to with the universe about how you need to operate and what you need to sacrifice in order to be successful or like maintain in homeostasis is allowing you to progress in ways that align you with very unique outcomes. Once again, the uniqueness of the outcomes is pretty significant because of the intellectual strength that I think that you're moving with. It's like your ability to identify the windows of opportunity that are like really, it's really key here, because you can't receive the gold star until you do the thing. But it seems like you know how and when to do the thing, and then you also seem to be doing the thing when other people are available to see you doing the thing, or like for you to actually be recognized for how well you did the thing. Like Maze Runner energy here. I hope you guys have seen that movie because it's good. But this is like you always making it out like in the nick of time. And being like publicly recognized for your ability to endure and overcome obstacles that maybe otherwise people would give into. I don't know if you guys heard like the kid yelling outside, but kids don't always yell outside around here. I kind of feel like people are being a jackass. I kind of feel like that's what it is. So like, once again, this like monk energy that you have where you're like immune to the bullshit is really attractive. Not only like to other people, but also to like God, because it's like, wow, I love how you do what you need to do even when people don't want you to do what you need to do. Like, ugh, you know. It's good shit. And especially if you're like studious or something, like if some of you guys have devoted yourself to like learning something or being like an expert in something, then that's something that God especially wants to reward you for. Like if some of you guys have taken like an oath of like chastity or something. Yeah, because you could have been like, okay, God, I'll be like celibate. Because the lovers is here, and then we have the King of Cups. Some of you guys have been like, okay, yeah, I'll be celibate until like I meet the right. But I don't know what your deal was, you know. But people make deals all the time. So, you know, maybe you're like, okay, well, I'll do this in order to have this outcome, and then the universe is like coming in right now to let you know, like, yeah, we'll give you what you want. That will load. Not like now, but there's some actions that need to be taken to make the energy more stable for that to happen. And that could be like domestically related or socially related. Okay, so the impacts for the best of this deal is float, resiliency, buoyancy, and drift. I might have to turn the light on. And then what you're giving up is spores, opportunity, luck, and diffusion. Okay, so yeah, I talked about how you're getting very highly unique opportunities, but I feel like the reason why you're able to have those is because of the fact that you've given up on a lot of other ones. So like an example of this for me is I didn't go to college after high school, and I didn't have like all those social experiences. I wasn't like in the mainstream. Like I took an entirely different path that meant that there was no ability to predict what was going to happen in my life for like in the next 6 months. Like I wouldn't have known, like, you know, like because I was kind of like freeballing it, like, you know, just like doing what I needed to do from like day to day. So you might have to sacrifice your understanding of what's happening and when it's happening and why it's happening because of the fact that you're submitting to this religion or philosophy or God or devil. It's in their hands now. So you now are belonging to something higher than yourself that you may not have the level of like understanding to be able to like predict. Which means that there's a lot of surrender in this process because you may be like spontaneously replanted somewhere else or just distributed farther than you might have imagined in some kind of way. It feels like these are still opportunities all these like random experiences, even when they are like decomposed, like even when they are inspired to cause pain or like cognitive dissonance or confusion, because those are all once again things that make you more of like the badass warrior monk that you're kind of like meant to be in this energy. You know, like Uncle, I think his name Iroh from like Avatar, when he's like just sitting in jail, like meditating, like kind of getting swole on the low. Like that situation came out of nowhere. He was like maybe backstabbed or betrayed, but he used it to like wait for his opportunity, kind of a thing. This is the mindset that this philosophy gives you. It's like, yes, bad things are happening to me, but I know how to use those bad things to my benefit, and I know like how to operate in the midst of darkness. Like I'm naturally inclined towards that because of how my life has developed me and trained me for this. And what you gain is float, like the ability to just move through every situation like with feather feet. Like you're just maybe even observing your life experiences with this high level of detachment. This is like the King and Queen of Cups, so it's like this intangible, emotional, psychic energy that you're like developing here in this deal. And this like connection with the natural current makes it easier to move with less like exertion. So things seem like they come easier to you in life because you seem like you're naturally connected to the thing that is supporting life, which is really the major key of this whole thing. Like when you do make this deal to submit to whatever you need to submit to or give up whatever you need to give up, it puts you greater into alignment with yourself and like what you actually want so that you can produce the outcomes that align you with the happiness. But first you need to like know what those keys are, which means you have to be able to receive them, which means you need to have like that internal peace. And you need to be willing to like demonstrate or live or act in whatever way you need to, and even in the face of like adversity or like opposition. And you need to prove that before you can really receive that. See what I'm saying? All right. Cool beans. I think it's actually was I gonna put something else? Yeah, advice moving forward, right? Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's pull from this angel deck. And then I'm gonna have to like turn the light on and stuff. Because it's getting kind of dark. Ooh, let the light in. At your back door, yeah, because I want to come in. Yeah, and the next file is actually relationship. So Lana Del Rey kind of feels like the right thing to be singing here. Yeah. Oh shit. I'm dropping the angels. No. What's the angelic assistance or advice moving forward here? We have HYDE, left leg submission. Holy shit. Yeah, okay, so you're being guided to know when and where and how to submit. And that just kind of like very introductory Power 1 kind of energy is like, this is the most basic kind of, you know, understanding of a submission to a divine force that requires you to sacrifice. There could be some need to like atone for something. Like you may want to do some kind of ritual to like profess devotion. Like this could be baptism. I got baptized when I was 14. This could be some kind of initiation into something like Santeria or whatever you may culturally originate from. Or this could just be you like going to a different source for inspiration. Like I don't only pray to God, I also talk to my ancestors. So this could be something similar to that because we have this heart chakra energy. So those who may appeal most to your desires and your petitions at this time could be those most close to you energetically. So I don't know if you have any ancestors in specific that could be relevant, but these are people who like you know from your family who could be like you know, wanting to be of service to you in some way. And if not wanting, with this being left leg, then like willingly already of service to you, whether or not you even like recognize that. I kind of wanted to get 3. So let's see what else comes out. If anything else comes out. I'll be cool if nothing else comes out, though. Okay, we have Angel of Vengeance. Rah. Okay, for some reason I feel like you're allowed to embody maybe more darkness than most people. And I say allowed because I feel like there's some level of like slack being given to you. I don't know if you hear my ghosts, but they're knocking. There's some kind of like slack given to you, or there's like, once again, you've just had a hell of a life. And so you just naturally are dark. And part of your motivation or fuel to continue your life because of what you've been through could be kind of dark. And maybe that's just like your way of coping. You know, it's like Sasuke, kind of like, you know, your whole clan got fucking murked by your only other family member, and now you gotta like motivate yourself by vengeance, and like that's real. That happens. So that could be you, and that's part of the reason why maybe your relationship with God is a little darker than most people's. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you're allowed to have an individual relationship. So let this be your validation of that if you haven't already had it. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. It is like your sauce. And this is part of the reason why you're gonna maybe be like a goat one day. Okay, we also have Angel of Silence in reverse. So this could be a good time, once again, like I said, to speak up more about what your perspectives are, even in the face of adversity. So, like, there was a point in time in this live when, like, there was like no one here, and I was like, oh fuck, did I lose them? Did I lose them? So, like, don't let people not understanding you stop you from communicating your truth or living in your purpose in the way that makes the most sense to you, basically. Because like I said, I think that you're being called into this submission so that you can float more easily towards these like pearly ideal outcomes. And because of how unique you are as a person, there could be a special need, maybe even at this time, especially if you are needing to make a decision or a choice at this time. Like, if you're noticing that you're at a crossroads and you're like, damn bro, like, what do I do next? Then like, this is especially a time when you maybe want to make time for silence, so that you can hear these keys coming in, so that you can complete and close the circuit in the way that allows you to finish the maze in time. Like, you might have to hit this window or hit this curb just right, and if you if you go too fast, you might spill the yak on your $200 suit. So be careful. Okay, that's problem number 1. And like I said, I'm gonna turn on the lights because we definitely, oh shit, and I also need to charge my phone. Jeez, there's a lot of things going on here. I thought I was more prepared for this. But like, even I scheduled this reading like 7 days ago, and like I had full intentions of recording it that day, but it took me 7 days to sit down and do this. And I pulled all the cards yesterday. This is like a difficult energy to approach, like this deal with this devil. Like, I wanted to make sure I did it right because I didn't want people thinking that I was some kind of like Satanist. I feel like people already like, you know, say that I do like dark things, and I don't not do dark things, but I'm also like not trying to have people think that I'm like the Antichrist, you know, like shit. I'm not that bad. Definitely could be worse. Holy shit. Okay. Relationship. This one's gonna be kind of interesting, I think. But let there be light on the 7th day, right? Yeah, hell yeah. Hold on. Okay, let's plug in. I almost said lock in. And this pile is the ring, so that would make sense. Wait, guys, is it blurry to you? I don't know how to change that. Hopefully it adjusts on its own. Oops. Alright, shout out to the people on the live who are still here. Okay, pile number 2. Relationship, Ace of Pentacles. This like describes the second decan of Capricorn, which is the eagle, Aquila, the pierced, wounded, and falling eagle, which represents Christ. Oh my god, Christ. I almost wanted to say kite. So, interesting. It reminds me of the Fool in the Bone Dead Tarot deck. So I'll be surprised if it comes out. I'd like if it did because I saw it in my head. This is the right hand of God, equal to God, but humbled before him. So this relationship that you're submitting to could be one that like humbles you or asks you to humble yourself. Or dude, my dog is looking out the window in the most melancholic way. Hold on, I kind of want to show you guys. I'm sorry, but I had to get that on. Okay. He's so pensive. Okay. But yeah, this is a situation where maybe it's difficult sometimes, but there's a willingness to like invest, Ace of Pentacles, in like a long-term cycle. Why is it doing that? If you could return, don't let it burn, don't let it fade. Sure, I'm not being rude, it's just your intent. I'm telling you why, I'm just talking to you. That is Linger by the Cranberries. Okay, so how are you submitting? We have the Eight of Pentacles, which is this guy going to work and leaving behind a buddy. Or his wife, depending on how you want to look at it. This is, oh, it's in the reverse, by the way. Then we have the Knight. Bro's probably the most difficult person to date. Yeah. Oh, shit. Just dropped it. Yeah, there could have been like a fumble situation here. Like someone has perhaps mishandled something or someone. Knight of Wands was in the reverse. Five of Cups in the reverse. And then the Four of Cups. Well, damn, every single fucking card's in the reverse. Okay, so yeah, your deal with the devil. This feels like a relationship that could be in like a difficult spot right now. Not that it has to stay that way. Like I think that this is once again a situation where like, you know, you're in it to win it kind of thing. But it definitely feels like maybe like the energy's a little bit strained right now, maybe because people are like emotionally stressed or otherwise preoccupied, or even like emotionally isolated in their grief. Or this could even represent like a past stage of this relationship that you've already like overcome. Maybe where someone was like unfaithful or like unserious, unmotivated, undisciplined, unclear, distracted, unavailable emotionally or like sexually. So like I'm noticing that the submission is coming through like sacrifice of like ideals. So it's like I would prefer that things were going this way, but they're not going this way, and I'm having to be okay with the fact that it's not going the way that I want it to in this relationship. Understanding naturally that like there may not be like any perfect compatibility, and yet I still want to start here. Ace of Pentacles. I see where you need to improve and where you are irresponsible, and I still want to invest. Maybe even because I feel like I have something that I could offer you that could help you grow. And in that way I could like operate as a divine force in your life. Because like this Capricorn energy is like the daddy of the zodiac. So it's like father disciplinarian energy. So this could be a relationship where you and your person are like subtly or unconsciously disciplining the other and encouraging them to grow further into who they need to be. Even when that's like a tough pill to swallow in some way. Like there could have been like truths spoken here that were uncomfortable, which is interesting because I don't even really see a lot of dialogue. So a lot of the like communication could be happening like non-verbally. Maybe because you know each other very well. I mean, you could be married, or headed in that direction? Okay. Either way, though, strong karmic relationship related to like personal development available in any relationship that's connected to this pile, even if it's in the workplace. Like, if this is a workplace, this is somewhere where you're being like made into a man or something. Like, you're being certified. Like, if you were a looser energy, you're being tamed by this situation, and you're choosing to like give up childish ways in order to be a man, or like, like, this feels like finally being open to take the right advice or take the next step, even when that means like giving up fun or comfort. Okay, what are you submitting to? We have the Tower. This could definitely be work. Nine of Swords. Ace of Pentacles again. The Nine of Wands in reverse. And wow, the World in reverse with the Ace of Cups. So what's really cool about this is no matter how bad it gets, you still are motivated to continue. And depending on who you are in this energy, that could be good or bad, right? But it does feel like that's part of your deal here, is to give the situation everything that you have until you have nothing left, like until the wheels fall off here. And that feels like an energy that we'll see for sure in a second. That it feels like that would be rewarding in this Capricorn energy, because that's the kind of energy that Capricorn represents, where it's like, I'm gonna climb this mountain. Like, that movie when she's like, I'm gonna go up this mountain to save my marriage. It's like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going up this mountain to save my marriage. So, by any means necessary kind of energy. Because there could be something like very obviously going wrong, and like I said, there could not be a lot of words happening. So if you're in this anxious energy and you're not feeling like you're able to address issues head on, this could be a good time to compromise, or like be willing to like face that confrontation. Like, it's a goat sometimes. Like, I think, don't goats like headbutt? That could be ram energy, but we also have Aries here too. This is not an energy where like confrontation is something that needs to be like shied away from, because confrontation actually progresses this relationship and like deepens the emotions that exist here, because like this is a matchup of people who are mutually committed. Okay, so what are you gaining? We have the Siren, temptation, deception, and irresistibility. It came out like upside down. With sea glass, time, healing, and fortune. It came out also upside down. What are you losing? Gills, individuality, influence, and productivity. And the button, humble, simple, and domestic. Yeah. So if one or both of you were in like this free, I do whatever I want, I say whatever I want, I act however I want energy, that doesn't really seem compatible with this relationship and what the needs are of the other person. So there's a need to sacrifice, like natural ways of being, or like freer ways of being, for the ways that it makes the other person more comfortable. Like, let's say for example, you're like a hot girl or something like that, and you're like aligning with someone who is wanting something maybe like more domestic. Depending on what you guys' relationship is, there could be a need to have like a conversation about what makes the other person feel less of a need to be like defensive, especially if there is like an issue of like possessiveness, or like um jealousy, and that being like a point of contention, or like a frequent point of like explosion in your relationship. Not that people shouldn't be like individually responsible for like developing themselves, but also it's important to be considerate maybe of what the soft spots are of the person that you're dealing with, if you want to avoid like some of these more difficult outcomes. And that's like your deal with the devil, is like, I know that maybe I shouldn't have to compromise here, but I'm willing to because I love you. and it's for the sake of our relationship and seeing it grow. And I'm okay with like giving up these 3 cups because I know that like I still have what I really need, which is this relationship. What you're gaining though is like I don't know, like for some reason it was hard to like figure out what you're gaining. The siren in the reverse is like temptation, deception, and irresistibility. So if like you're coming into a relationship, oh, this is not really showing everything. I'm so sorry about that. Sorry, guys. If you're coming into a relationship after not being in one, then this feels like you're giving up your options, but that actually seems like that allows you to be more focused on like, you know, honey, I'm home kind of a thing. And that like kind of creates stability that maybe like boosts your productivity at work. Like the less of a need to like hunt, or the less variance in regular routine, or even like regular sexual release could be helpful for you healing wise. Like it literally says healing. So, so sex, sex is what you gain. Good sex. That sounds pretty good. Like this is the world, by the way. So this is like everything, like very satisfying sex. I even wanted to say fruitful. So like maybe even there could be children that come of this, because the world can be a pregnant woman sometimes. Okay. I'm hearing that's life. If we had more time, we could live forever. Just you and I. We could be together. That's life. If we had more time, we could live forever. Just you and I. We could be together. Okay, so what's the advice here in this situation? We have Angel of Mercy. So yeah, this feels like Consideration, which is a song by Rihanna. Maybe you want to listen to that. It's pretty good. She's an Aries. We have Angel of Divination. So you're encouraged to like try to predict what can be a problem here, and then like avoid it before it is a problem. Like you're encouraged to do that, like forecasting, because it makes you more compassionate in this relationship and makes like makes this home. I needed you to please give my reflection a break from the face it's seen now. Hold on, let you mind give my reflection a break from the face it's seen now. Angel of Punishment. Interesting. Oh, jeez. This is coming out like over here on the side about what you're losing. There could be some like there could definitely be some tougher emotions here. Like this is maybe a relationship that you should anticipate like conflict in. I don't know like that's really a good or bad thing, but it feels like if you're like resonating with this energy, regardless of what kind of relationship you're in or commitment, there's gonna be ups and downs in this situation. Like maybe even like really big ones. And that would make sense, right? Because like I know myself to be a person who like embodies a lot of energy. Like I just myself, I'm kind of like a person with a lot of gravity. So anyone who like I kind of come into like alignment with or like match up with, and it really like feels like a real thing, is gonna be someone who like has that same like sustenance. So it makes sense that two like big people, when they argue, would like make a big sound. So like this could be a situation where like there could be like, you know, yelling, but that could be the authentic communication that like a person or situation in the situation. Like, you know, like it's like this is not like always soft energy, but there is a lot of love here. And I think that the situation could challenge you to be able to see both. Like angel of mercy. Like when this situation does explode, because it might and probably will, you know, at least like a couple times in like whatever long period of time you're investing into, try to like be compassionate. Not that you should overly self-sacrifice either. That's where this like angel of divination comes in here, because I feel like you're gonna need to like go by touch. This is like manually driving a car, like driving stick. You need to like really know where you're at. And like remain aware of your position here, which is like why the forecasting kind of feels like it's beneficial. And now my cat's like sniffing around in the bag. And I just... Okay. This could be like a thing where people, like, you could have someone who maybe goes and invades your privacy, maybe? I don't know. Because she's like going in a bag, like she's sniffing around in the bag. And for some reason to me, it feels like you could have someone here who has like BPD or something like that. Like, you know, they have like maybe like they flash out or like they crash out or something. If they like find something that, you know, they don't like we do have domestic over here, angel of punishment. So you know. And then we have the crown, spirituality. This actually came out in one of the love letter readings that I just did. And that's the angelic assistance. And it's coming out, like I said, the mercy, the divination, whatever forecasting you can do through your own like internal knowledge of how to best maneuver through the situation, in tandem with like the psychic connection that you have with this person and your commitment to them. And then we have empathy. Like, dude, it's like I'm wanting to like mention extenuating circumstances. Like, there is a lot of intense energy here. Angel of new life, like, yeah. So I feel like the expression of truth in this connection comes in like flames. Like, you know, Rihanna, like her, like Chris Brown. And then I'm also getting that song with Rihanna and Eminem when he's like, if you ever try to fucking leave again, I'm gonna tie you to the bed and set the house on fire. It's just that type of shit. And it's not because, like, I don't love you. It's like, I actually do love you, actually. Like, a lot. So this is, you know, choose your own adventure here. I'm not necessarily endorsing this. But this is the energy that I'm describing. Sacrificing individuality here. You're agreeing to be part of a team. Maybe a team that has a designated like alpha too. So if you are not... This is an interesting energy. But like humility, like humble. Like there could be roles here that are expected. Like, and that's what I meant, like driving a stick, like knowing like where you're supposed to be. Like there's a place where you're supposed to be in this relationship. Like you have a role. And like don't step out of it kind of a thing. Right hand. Dude, this is, you know, I hate to say it, but this is kind of what I'm getting. And if you don't like this, then leave. That's what I should say. But I think for like not everybody who's in this energy has a problem with playing their role. So this isn't a problem because you wouldn't feel Like, because this is domestic energy and you're sacrificing your individuality, I'm assuming that you went into this connection understanding that you were doing that. And so that would be like a willful sacrifice. Like, it is what you're giving up, but it's not, you're not giving it up because you're being forced to give it up. Like, you're giving it up because you're agreeing to play a role in a dynamic to make sure that it's productive. Keeping things simple and stable and homey. And it requires like understanding how to support the person that you're with, not only like in a material tangible way, but also like that emotional way where you're not triggering their insecurities, so they actually have the opportunity to heal in their relationship with you. Angel of time. So if you're not like at the stage now in a relationship with someone where you're able to do that, this is a situation that might need time to continue to grow, so that you can know how to like meet this person's needs better. And you should both be like open to cooperating, because communication seems like it's a point of like there is like little to no swords. The only swords is the 9 of swords, which is like anxiety. So yeah, there could be a need to communicate more in this connection, but there may not be a lot of opportunities for that right now. So once again, time is necessary. Okay, so let's move into pile number 3. If you ever try to fucking leave again, I'm gonna tell you to the parents of this house on fire. I grew up in toxic environments, so it doesn't really surprise me that these are the readings that I do with love. Like, like, what do you want from me, kind of a thing? Like, I come from a certain place where certain things happened. And it's not that I really, like, I don't want to replicate it, but it's also, like, I understand who I am. And I do naturally feel kind of, like, I have a Aries Venus. So, which is, it's a detrimental placement. Like, it's kind of like the worst place to have your Venus. It's kind of like the worst place. Okay, anyways. Yes, dog, I love you. My dog is here and he's showing a lot of love. And now he's walking away. Wait, just kidding. He's back. Let go. He just brought me this dinosaur. I tell him to kill it. Okay, we have purpose. Page of Wands. This is Sagitta, the arrow. The archer is not seen. He who shoots it is invisible. It is a picture of the arrow which has come from the bow of God. God will not compromise. Holy standards remain. And it's a scythe, which is like my weapon of choice. If I were to like wield a weapon, it would probably be this. This shit is so badass. And you know, Maka wields a scythe in Soul Eater, so you guys could like that though. Accidentally threw it. He's going dummy back there. He's going dummy. Okay, how are you submitting in your purpose? 8 of Wands. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. You're literally in a Cupid costume right now? That's cool. I hope you have fun doing Halloween stuff. I'm a complete social reject, so I don't have anything going on. Just talking about deals with devils. Something slight. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse. Death. And Page of Cups. So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Some of you guys are living by the sword and dying by the sword in some kind of way. Like, you're going to complete a mission. Like, you're off to, like, you're directed towards maybe a very specific task. Maybe related to, like, collecting skulls. And if it's not, like, actual people, then it's, like, maybe, like, conquering demons in some kind of way. Like, overcoming the dark, defending your inner child while you're doing that. Maybe even, like, other people's inner child, or nurturing other people, being creative in some kind of way. Because, like, sand. Like, Anakin Skywalker, he was born in the sand, like a slave. And then he builds, like, this empire. that kind of like is everybody else's sand, because he's just like blowing up their homes at the battle star, or well, whatever. So, some of you guys are on some Battlestar Galactica shit. You're blowing up people's homes. And okay, and what I want to say, like, this could also be in a less literal sense. This is you being the new idea that brings the change. So yes, you are blowing up the homes in terms of like destroying other people's security, but it feels like that security might have been false in some cases. You have to submit to whatever grief is on the other end of what you do and your purpose here. Because definitely you're moving with a lot of force and a lot of power, and you're going to get this thing done. But after you get it done, how do you feel? What is your mind looking like? Because I'm getting like this taxi driver energy off of this. Soul Eater. So it could be that you do you do this reaping thing so much that you become darkened by it. Oh my gosh, demon cat. Come here, baby. Yeah. She's coming to say hey, guys. Yeah. Say, I'm an Aries stellium and I'm full of mischief. She's like a vampire. She's like Dracula. So some of you guys have like some Marceline energy here. Like, you're a well-intentioned, darker person. Something kind of an unavoidable, because Scorpio energy is also like what you inherit. So you could have been born into something, maybe kind of elite or secret. And if not born into it, then like initiated into it. Like, this is like Bad Boys Club. Bad Boys is the police. It's just like a movie about the police. Yeah. So some of you guys are like the Grim Reaper in that way. Assassin's Creed, I mentioned that before. In another pile. If you were interested in looking at another one, you might want to check it out. But yeah, like, you're super good at what you do. And supported, like, you have backing in this. Okay, so what are you submitting to? 9 of Cups. Definitely could be some kind of like brotherhood, like way of being, like the code, the way, the Mandalorian here. Bounty hunter. I went through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. Oh, you might have to walk away from like where you come from. Like, you might have to leave everything you have behind, or even give up your identity to become something else. Like, I'm hearing League of Legends. Like, yeah, like this is like a creed or something. Like, once again, like the Mandalorian, you're following the way, you're walking the path. And no one can like tell you how to get into alignment with this. Like, if you're not already feeling like you're in this purpose, but you feel like you connect to this like Grim Reaper purpose, because like we have 2 scythes here and then like another blade, so we're definitely like wielding a weapon in some kind of way here, even if it's just our mind and how we use it to cause change or destroy other people or things or organizations. Could be like a philosophical like badass energy here too, like a social leader like Angela Davis, Malcolm X kind of situation. But yeah, you might have to like walk away from everything you know. Give up a lot of like personal belongings, like leave things behind. Maybe even like a family. it feels like wherever you're going is like dangerous, or like only like some people can go like Top Gun. Like it's definitely a unique and highly valued experience. Like whatever your purpose is, people are like, if they know about it or allowed to know about it, they're gonna like admire it because of how like elite or specified or dark or like secret or taboo it is. If it isn't like death, it could also be like sexual energy. So some of you guys, your purpose is related to like your sexuality or your creativity in some way. Like you could be dancers, or in some kind of way other people enjoy your activity and you benefit from that. Like whatever your functionality, your is efficiency, your technical skill set is, people want to put you into movement on maybe their behalf so they can reap the rewards. Okay, so what are you gaining? Wonder, vibrancy, and surprise. We have muscle, nourishment, connection, and purification in reverse. What are you losing? You're honestly losing maybe a little bit more than you're gaining. But lion's mane, opulence, wisdom, and care. Snow fungus, clarity, regeneration, flexibility. Oyster, feast, heroic, and multitasker. It's interesting that what you're losing, none of this is like coming in phrasing that feels negative, which is interesting. So you may gain a lot, but you may lose in ways that you can't see, or ways that feel inconsequential in the moment but turn out to be more substantial later on. It feels like because you're really good at whatever you're doing here, and you're getting a lot of like recognition for being effective, you may gain like an ego, and that feels like one of like with the lion's mane here, like your arrogance in your effectiveness can occasionally be to your detriment. People could walk away from you when they feel like you think too much of yourself in your role. But I feel like you gain a lot of karmic like reward for the fact that you're like committed and thorough in what you do. Like muscle is you're very good, of high quality, and you're known for that. People do feel like magnetized towards you. Like for sure, because they understand that they belong with you. Even if they didn't always see it that way. Some people might need a chance to like peek into you to know more about you, because I feel like you are maybe a person who is disguised intentionally, maybe because like of how secret your purpose is. So you don't really lead with what it is that makes you so potent. It could be hard for you to find like real companionship because of this creed and how it makes you live your life differently than what's average. Like, you know, you're Batman or something like that. You could also have like a lot of resources at your disposal. Okay. What's the angelic assistance and guidance coming in for pile 3? We have the right eye, wisdom. I almost wanted to say Roger, Roger. So some of you guys are part of a team. I'm hearing Lego movie. um, everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. So you might have like a role, like you're a weapon. You're someone else's weapon. You've been like made to do this one thing, and you do this thing like really good. I'm hearing Bob the Builder. We have Angel of Dreams. And then Ground the Kingdom. I feel like you like what you... Okay, I'm also hearing Paul Atreides, Duke of Arrakis. From Dune. So, Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah. The kingdom. Some of you guys could be like leaving to become like a character arc. And this also reminds me of Vinland Saga. I think it's like the second season when the king is like becoming a man, like he stops kind of being a little bitch for lack of better words. Like he stops being a child, page of cups, and it like rises to his role in the world. So your purpose, you may not have always understood it or even known it. You might have had to like gone through some stuff here. Angel of Dreams, dreams being like the 12th house, subconscious mind, Ace of Swords in reverse, Two of Pentacles in reverse. There could have been imbalances within you. Like you may have had like cognitive dissonance about what your path needed to be, or you may not have even made a choice for yourself. You may feel like the world made choices for you and you just felt like stuck with the outcomes of them, but they were meant to happen because they align you further. My cat just touched this oyster. Feaster feaster, okay. Feast, relic, and multitasker. What are you doing? Okay, is this what you could choose? I disagree. I kind of feel like that could have been something that happened to you in your life, where like maybe you had a parents who didn't agree with like your life choices. Well, my dog just did like a little asthmatic thing. Yeah, you could definitely be like familial reject energy here, or like familial disappointment energy here. You're embodying like darkness here, so it would be like easy for you to be scapegoated as like the bad one in this energy. Yes, Assassin's Creed. You know, like the first game, he literally like gets demoted because he was too arrogant. That's literally what this feels like. So there could be some like redemption arc that you have to like go through to like prove your loyalty to the cause. Okay. Well, yeah, that's what I have for this reading. Thank you so much for like watching it and being here. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and you got what you needed out of it and that you weren't too scared about my mentioning of the devil. And yeah, have a good night. See you guys later.